living life is stage. Hey, hey, living life is stage. Hey, hey, living life is stage. Hey, hey, living life is stage. Hey.
Hey Lifer Tribe, welcome to another video, Living Life with Stae. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. And since you're here, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and become a permanent part of this Lifer Tribe. Believe me, you will not regret it. So yeah, I'm standing up doing a video in the middle of my bedroom, and this is like very last minute, very shall I say spontaneous, unplanned, but I had something to say, and I am in this season of just do it, right? Because number one, I'm a woman of a certain age and I forget things, and if I don't do it now and I don't have time to write it down, and sometimes even when I write it down I don't remember exactly what it was that I was writing down because I just put little keywords thinking I'm going to remember the details and then I don't. But nevertheless, I digress. You're getting this video raw, uncut, unstaged, but we need to talk. Are you really that poor of a decision maker, or do you have a hard time committing and making decisions because either one, you're afraid of what other people are going to think, or two, you're afraid of how those decisions may affect other people? Because I have noticed with a lot of my clients, and even me in some circumstances in my life throughout time, have kind of been really sure and kind of been sure. Poor choice of words, but I told y'all this is uncut, so we ain't starting over. But I have been extremely sure about what it is that I want to do, what I feel is right for me. But I hem-haw around with making the decision because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think, what they're going to say, and how it might make them feel. And so the tough time that I'm having in making the decision is not because I'm not sure about what I want to do, what it is that I want to do, and what's best for me. I'm more concerned about other people. And so that's just a moment of clarity, because if that's you, it's okay, it's normal. It actually means you're a great person because you do care about other people's feelings. You do care about how things will affect other people. I mean, if you are mulling around with the decision on whether or not, so I said unfiltered, uncut, we are not editing this, and the battery died, and we're still not going to edit. I'm not going back and starting over, but I remember where I left off. I was saying, so if you're deciding to quit your job, maybe it is just burning you out, you want to do something different, you want to start a business, whatever, it makes sense that you may be a little concerned about how your husband or your partner may feel, your children may feel, because your job likely affects your income, likely affects the entire family. However, that cannot be the driving force behind whether or not you're going to make that decision to quit your job. Now, you can decide today, I am going to quit my job. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, because I know that the best decision for me is to quit this job. However, that doesn't mean you have to quit your job today. And I think that that is another reason why we get nervous and we get concerned about making decisions or sticking to the decisions that we've already made. Because mind you, we already know what we want to do. We know what we need to do. We're just afraid to share it. But it's because for some reason we think that if we make a decision, we need to do it now. No, when there are other people who are going to be affected by the decision that you make, like if it is a decision to move, or it's a decision to quit your job, change careers, go back to school, you can share that decision. Let them know that you're doing it. I'm just sharing with you because I care about you and I value your feelings, and I'm not going to do this thing tomorrow. I'm going to quit my job, but I'm going to quit in 6 months, I have a plan. I'm going to start this new thing. I'm going to get into this new business. But I'm not going to quit the job until the business starts to flourish. I'm going to go back to school, but I'm not going back to school this semester. I'm going to go back to school next year. So decision making does not necessarily equal it has to happen right now. And if you let that set with you, then maybe the decision-making process won't be so difficult because you realize, hey, I'm committed to this thing. I've made this decision. I know this is what I'm going to do. But because it affects other people or just because it's another good decision, I'm not going to do it right now. But I know for a fact I'm going to do it. Another decision that a lot of people struggle with sharing or following through with a lot of times is the decision to leave a bad relationship, leave a negative or a toxic relationship because they feel as though other people may look at them as a failure. Because when you find yourselves in these kind of relationships, many times maybe you haven't shared with others exactly how bad the relationship is because maybe you were ashamed of that, or maybe it was just too personal, or whatever the case may be. But now you've decided, I need to leave and I don't want to explain, or I don't want people judging me. Don't worry about that, because just like you didn't feel it was their business to share what was going on in the relationship, it's none of their business how you handle that relationship. Do not stay in a loveless, toxic, abusive relationship because you're afraid it may make you look like a failure. Because the failure would be not serving yourself and doing what is mentally better for you, and in a lot of cases physically better for you, by leaving. Other people's judgment bothers us way too much. And it's so funny. I had a conversation with my sister yesterday about this same kind of topic and how sometimes we don't make decisions or don't want to share things or don't want people to find out certain things because we're going to be embarrassed or they're going to judge us. But the fact of the matter is, number one, people usually don't care normally as much as we think they might care about what we have going on. Not because we're insignificant or not important to them, but mainly because they got their own ish going on. And number two, the ones who are going to judge and make comments aren't really in your corner anyway. And they're probably doing it because it makes them feel better about what they have going on. And so what difference does it make? Why do we even care about their opinions and their judgment? And the third thing in that is, it usually is out of their mind within a day or so. So they're judging, they talking smack today, they on to something else tomorrow. But the bottom line is, you got to do what's best for you. Another type of relationship decision that sometimes people make is, or they might hesitate in making, is getting out of a relationship, right? The same type of topic, but maybe it's not because the relationship is so toxic or it's abusive. Maybe you have just grown apart. Maybe you have fallen out of love. Maybe you just feel like the relationship is not going in the direction that you would like it to go, but you don't really have any bad feelings towards that person, so you don't want to share that decision. Because again, I want us to be very clear. There's a difference between making a decision, executing on a decision, sharing a decision. All different things, because we can make a decision and just not share it and execute, right? So you've made the decision that this relationship is no longer serving you. This relationship is no longer going the way you would like it to go. You're not feeling fulfilled. And you just really, truly believe that exiting the relationship is going to be the right thing for you, but you don't want to share or execute that relationship or that decision to end that relationship because you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. Again, admirable, noble. It means you care about people. It means you have empathy. However, are you really being in the relationship if you've already detached in your mind? Are you truly giving that person what they deserve in a relationship if you have already separated in your heart? And so if you think about it that way and realize that I may hurt them if I leave, but at least I'm opening them up to new love. At least I'm opening them up to be able to find someone who is going to be able to give them the things that I just don't feel I can. It'll be a lot easier for you to share and execute on that decision. And so I just want you to think about the decisions that you've already made, and then be real honest with yourself about why haven't I shared and executed on these decisions? Is it really because I'm that confused and I don't know what I want to do? Because 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. I mean, we know ourselves better than anyone else. We know what lights our fire. We know what makes our heart sing. We know when we're in a bad situation. We know when things aren't going right. We know when we're not being treated fairly. We know when we're not being fulfilled. We know those things. And we typically know what it's going to take to feel better, to do better, to have better. And so is it the decision that you're really struggling with, or is it the sharing the decision and executing the decision based on what other people might think or feel? So just let that sit with you for a little while. And anything that you are convincing yourself today that you're struggling with, I just don't know what I want to do. I just don't know what I want to do. Ask yourself that question. Do I really not know what I want to do? Or am I just protecting myself or protecting others from how it might affect someone else? And so hopefully something I've said today has made a light bulb go off for somebody, has kind of given you an aha moment. Maybe it has set you free and given you the courage and the skills and the tools that you need to just go ahead and do that thing. You've already made the decision. Now it's time to commit to it, share it, execute it, do whatever it is that you need to do to make it come into fruition. And so y'all know I love and appreciate each and every one of you to bits and pieces. I thank you so much for being here. I kind of like this kind of little pop-up. I got something to say, I'm just going to say it. And it was a lot easier for me than doing the whole setup. And so I'm glad that I made that decision today, that I had something to say, and I wasn't going to worry about who said, well, you know what, why is she standing up in her bathroom doorway? This looks crazy. I wasn't going to worry about that. I made my decision, I executed, and now I'm sharing with y'all. So these braces, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am only 100 away from my 1,000 subscribers. That is super exciting, at least as of today. You know, those numbers fluctuate sometimes from day to day, from minute to minute. But as of now, I am 100 away from my 1,000 subscribers, and I would love for one of you to be number 900 and beyond. Please like the video if you found it valuable at all, and then share with a friend. And thank you so much for being here once again. And y'all know the drill. Always be kind and love one another, but don't forget to live your life. L-Y-F-E. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Living life is stage. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living life is stage. Hey, hey. Living life is stage.